you're free to do your journey any way you feel fit. And I'll make a couple of comments. And this is from 40-Day Mind Fast, Soul Fast from Michael Beckwith. Living on the luxurious lap of spirit. Are you ready to be wealthy? Do you know what genuine wealth is? Understand that wealth is a state of consciousness, an expanded awareness of having. When you have right understanding of who and what you are, you recognize that you already have all that you need. I'm talking about universal law at work here. When we read in Deuteronomy, and you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you power to get wealth. Understand that the Lord means law. In using the law of life, look also to the first commandment, thou shalt not have any gods before me. When applied for a prosperity teaching, this means not to look to any other source but spirit for your good. Look nowhere but within God consciousness for your good. If you are waiting for the cosmic tumbler to fall into place for you to hit the lottery, to get the right job, the hot relationship, the McMansion, you are worshiping a false god on the altar of your consciousness. As you move through the rhythm of your day, don't turn to secondary causative factors for your good. Go directly to the first cause, which is God. When you are attuned to the only power, life, and source there is, everything works together for your good. Your life will magnify the Lord, and you will live in the luxurious lap of spirit. The abundance of spirit flows in and through me. I am a vehicle of its self-givingness. So this concludes our meditation this morning. So gradually, easily come back into the room and stay with us for a really exciting message from our lovely Reverend staff today. Thank you very much. This concludes our meditation. And so it is. Namaste.
Young and old, we will sing together in one song. Come together from different worlds, we are drawn together. In our own way, we can pray together. Together we are strong. I see God in you. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are whole. Please seated, please. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you? Anybody else besides Lori okay? Okay for all of us. Excellent. Well, good morning to everyone. I hope everyone's okay and better today. I'm Reverend Jill, and welcome to our Center, Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living this morning. We're glad you're here. Glad to welcome everybody in our virtual community this morning as well. Welcome. Glad you're able to join us too. And if you're with us for the very first time, we welcome you wherever you may be on your spiritual journey. Know that we are welcoming, open, inclusive, and glad to have you here, and hope you find us to your liking. We are live streaming this morning on Facebook and YouTube, and on Wednesday, Just Reverend Lee's talk will be posted on Facebook about 7 o'clock at night. And it's a wonderful way to refresh yourself for midweek, which goodness knows I need. And also, it's a great way to introduce us to your family and friends and invite them into our community as well. We have a vibrant community here. We have a mission, vision, and purpose statement. And I invite you to join me as we speak it into our service this morning. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and community transformation. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. Our purpose is to awaken to our spiritual magnificence. And so it is. So, how did Spirit show up for you this week? What are you grateful for? Joseph Murphy says, as you express gratitude, you align yourself with the infinite source of abundance. Who would like to share gratitude this week? Anything wonderful happen? Lori. So many things.
I'll just say a few. I don't know where you want me to be. Okay. I'm super grateful for the amazing week that I had at the art gallery. In February, I've sold more art in a month, and it's only halfway over than my entire art career. And it's been a lot of fun connecting with people, and it's just so much fun helping people bring beauty and joy into their lives. So that's been wonderful. I'm super grateful for all the joy and abundance in my life, and I'm excited for next weekend. I won't be with you because I will be with my beautiful friend Tracy, checking out a bunch of music in Austin, Texas. So grateful for that opportunity.
Fun. Music in Austin. Anyone else? Gratitude. How did Spirit show up? Good stuff. All right, Jim.
I'm grateful that this week my sister and her husband have been in town. It's been energizing to have them in my home. And I've made some personal changes in my life that are going really well. And just grateful for this spiritual center as well.
Excellent. Wonderful. Visiting with family is always fun. Anybody else? One more little bitty thing.
I'm grateful for our rescue dog who is taking over our family, and she's just wonderful. And so that's added an extra little bit of joy to our lives.
Wonderful. And she's behaving now.
She's doing pretty well.
She's not as rambunctious.
Last time we got home from church, and she had gone into the kitchen and opened every cabinet door.
Did she find
Stuff out that she wanted, and we decided that's not good.
child locks? All right. New puppies. Well, thank you for sharing your gratitude. I'm grateful for each and every one of you for being here and being Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. Would you join me for our invocation, please? How good it is that we come together on these Sunday mornings in this community to connect with one another, to connect in spirit, and the recognition that there is no separation, that there is only one. There is one life, there's one mind, there's one heart. We call it God, we call it spirit, we call it source, we call it the presence. It is the allness of life. It is that which is the creator, the creation, and the created. It is in, through, and as all that exists, has ever existed, and ever shall. It is one, it is whole, it is perfect and complete. And I know that all of that is here now this morning, present in this room, pressing against each one of us It is in, through, and as us. We are manifestations of it, for it is the one creative substance, the source of all life, the source of our lives. And we are united in that oneness and that wholeness that it is. There is not God and something else. We are all one. And so from this place of unity, I speak my word for and about our service today, knowing that each of us is blessed, uplifted, inspired as we take Reverend Lee's message into our week ahead, allowing ourselves to be love in action in each and every relationship that we experience, whether it's with a stranger or a loved one, to be love. I bless each of us that is gathered here this day, knowing that we are here by divine appointment, that there are no accidents, that we are here on purpose to receive the message, to meet and to greet and to be together and to share our love and our joy, our peace, and to connect in the one as a reflection of it. I take this time to also bless all faith traditions, recognizing that there are many paths to the one and that they are all blessed. They are all good, for they all seek that one infinite presence, the God source, a deeper walk with the divine. And it is with great gratitude and joy, thanksgiving for this center, for our message, for our connections, for this community, and for all that we do and give to the world, that I just give great thanks and release this into the action and activity of law, knowing that it is already done, it is already complete, and we affirm that truth together by saying, and so it is. You are blessed. You are a blessing. 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 You are a blessing. You are a blessing.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Victoria, and I will be reading the announcements today. Our annual community meeting will be held following the service today, and there will be snacks. We are once again holding our Grateful Gatherings fundraising events for 2025. Anyone can host an event. The hosts provide a theme, the minimum bid amount per person, total number of people who can attend, date, location, and the food, beverage, or entertainment. This SCSL congregates will bid on each event with the highest bids winning, with proceeds benefiting the center. The creative ideas for hosting an event are virtually unlimited as long as it includes some type of food, beverage, or entertainment. Locations can include your home, partner with someone else, your office, a park, our facility. The options are unlimited. Your imagination is your only limitation. Sign up today at the front table. And if you have any questions, you can ask me or anyone else at the front table. After the message this morning, Reverend Lee will open the mic for your questions or comments about today's topics. We have a basket of pens and scratch pads available on the front table if you'd like to take notes during service. And we love music here at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. And today we welcome Michael Gott with his song, We Are One. Thank you.
We are one. We are are one. Every mother, every father, daughter, son. All the things that make us different, all the things that make us free. Now we see we are one. We are one. Now the dance of all creation has begun. We are younger than tomorrow and more ancient than the sun. In the spirit we are many, and we are one. We are one. We are one. Every mother, every father, daughter, son. All the things that make us different are the things that make us free. Now we see we are one. We are one. Now the dance of all creation has begun. We are younger than tomorrow and more ancient than the sun. In the spirit we are many, and we are one. In the spirit we are many, and we are one.
Good morning, everybody. It struck me as I was listening to Michael sing, "We are one." Just that line is a bit paradoxical, is it not? We talk about we, and then we talk about being one. We talk about how we're all connected and how we're all just this individualized expression of some wonderful, infinite, and ever-present something in which we live and move and have our being, and it in us, and all of this stuff. And then we come around and we say, we are one. And that's what we're talking about today. But before I get into all that, I wanted to check in because we had some assignments from last week. How did the mirror work go? I just want to check in because we did have an assignment. Mirror work went okay? Those who did it? You didn't do it. Pardon me? Did you? Okay, good. Good. And, we started out this month with what would God do? And then last week it was what would I do? And this week is what would we do? And the assignment was, well, part of the thing with what would I do is I listened to Reverend Joe's message. And I was not listening on Sunday, but I came back to listen to it later in the week. I was busy working in a very loud, noisy space at the time. how did we do it remembering that we are worthy? She says, she wanted you to remember three things, if nothing else. You are worthy, you are whole, and you are infinitely and unconditionally loved. And as I listened to her say that, and I'm taking notes, I said, you know what? We could take that a step further and just make those affirmations for the week and say, I am worthy, I am whole, and I am infinitely and unconditionally loved. So we're going to practice that this morning. So repeat after me, please. I am worthy. I am whole. I am infinitely and unconditionally loved. All right. Good. That's the end of the group participation. No, there's more group participation later. Trust me. Well, this week is about relationships and our relationship with others in our world, others in our lives. Ram Dass writes this, and I didn't, yeah. Ram Dass writes, our ability to be present is the greatest gift we can give in relationships. Our ability to be present is the greatest gift we can give in our relationships. So how are we present? First of all, how are we present? Secondly, how are we not present? And thirdly, what are the limits that we put on ourselves for being present? What are the limits we put on ourselves in terms of loving relationships in our lives, or any relationships in our lives for that matter? What stories do we tell ourselves about, maybe how we're not enough, how we're not good enough, how we're not loving, caring, good looking enough, tall enough, short enough, thin enough? Maybe I'm too skinny. We tell stories about ourselves. We have all these conversations in our head about one, yes, how we're not good enough, and about two, and sometimes we get to tell stories about how we are enough, how we are worthy, how we are whole, how we are infinitely and unconditionally loved. We can tell those stories too. Ernest Holmes writes this in The Science of Mind. He says that the moment we recognize our connection to others, we begin to see the divine in all things. The moment we recognize our connection to others, we begin to see the divine in all things. We recognize our connection to others. We live in some challenging times, and it's very easy to look around the world and start pointing fingers. And we come in here and we hear all these messages, Reverend Lee and Reverend Jill, how wonderful life is, how loving and caring everything is, how love is in, through, around, and as each and every one of us. And then we walk back out into the world, we go through that door, and the world hits us in the face and starts telling us stories about how we're separate. And how about how we're all divided up into categories and classes and all the things, right? We have all of our political differences, our social differences, our family differences, our orientation differences. And we look at all that and we hear it as something that separates us, when in truth, what it is an opportunity for us to look around at the magnificent tapestry of life and say, wow, look at how wonderful and magnificent, and look at all the variety that Spirit shows up as in my life. And yeah, we may not always agree. How boring would it be if we always agreed? I think I've told the story in here before. When I was in ministerial school, I worked a graveyard shift at an athletic club, a 24-hour athletic club. And most of the time in the middle of the night, between like 11 and 3, it was just me and the janitor. And so I'd be sitting there doing my homework because all my stuff was done. I cleaned up my area. And he'd come in, he'd roll in, he'd start working through his stuff. And he'd look over my shoulder and see what I was working on. He was a born-again Christian gentleman. And he said, I'd like to have, he said, what's all this? And he asked me questions. I said, okay, we can have this conversation. I'm happy to have this conversation with you. And what we need to understand is that I want us to look at how we agree more than how we disagree. Because there will be points at which we disagree, and that's got to be okay with you. And we have to be okay with that if we're going to have this conversation. And he said, okay. And so many nights, we'd have conversations about my home, what I was working on, what he was studying. He was in a Bible study, so we talked about his Bible study. But in the beginning, I could feel the tension in him when he was looking over my shoulder and reading Ernest Holmes, or Emma Curtis Hopkins, or Judge Thomas Troward, or whomever I was studying at the time. And so it's not just about how we view the world, it's about how we view any number of things. When we start trading diversity for variety, because I look at that word diversity, what does it start with? DIV. It looks at division. It's like, how are we separating each? How do we break ourselves up into all these little groups? So I like to swap that out and say, you know what? It's about the variety of expression. It's about the wonderful, unique, and magical ways that Spirit shows up. Each and every one of us in our own way. And we look at the relationships that we create out of that. Because of that, because we shift from how we're different to how we're the same, just imagine, if we could embrace that as a society, as a human family. What would be possible if we could do that for just a moment? Just a moment. Marianne Williamson writes this: when we see with the eyes of love, every relationship becomes a sacred thread in the great tapestry of life. How am I working at seeing with eyes of love today? Right? Because it's very easy. It can be. Let me rephrase that. It can be very easy when we are in the midst of a challenge, in the midst of an argument, in the midst of a conversation where maybe we are disagreeing, maybe we don't always agree, and that's got to be okay. But I'm sitting here and I'm in conversation with somebody, all of a sudden a disagreement comes up, and where does my brain go? Where does my thinking go? When I stop being present with the conversation and I start defending myself? Maybe in my head I start getting into fear. Or I start preparing my response rather than continuing to listen. How many have had that happen? Yeah. Sure. So rather than listening to really understand, I start preparing my response. And maybe I miss out on something in that because I get afraid, I get anxious. Maybe somehow in that conversation or in that relationship, I'm being asked to be a little more transparent, a little more vulnerable. Maybe I'm getting into my feelings a little bit, and that's uncomfortable. Can I allow myself to be in that place, in that space, in relationship with whoever is in front of me, individually or collectively? Can I allow myself the vulnerability to be in those feelings long enough to really connect at a deeper level? And have I become limited because of the labels I've put on those experiences? Have I labeled conflict in such a way that it says, you know what? Anytime I'm in conflict, that means that I'm not okay. I've had that. If there's a conflict, I have a history of, let me rephrase that, up until the whatever point I really woke up to it, I realized at one point in the not too distant past that anytime there was a conflict, it meant that I was programmed to believe that I was not okay. That the message I grew up with in our family unit was peace at any cost. And I had to get past that and realize that just because there's conflict, just because there's maybe some kind of disagreement, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. That doesn't mean that I'm not worthy. I still, to this day, have to check myself sometimes. It's like if something pops up, some disagreement pops up somewhere, and I get that little in my gut, I'd say, well, now wait. Not about you. Because when that happens, that is a signal somewhere that says, you know what? It's not safe. It's time to pull back. Now, granted, there are situations in our lives and in our worlds where physical safety could be an issue, and that's a warning, and we need to, take appropriate steps. But when we're talking about being in relationship with each other, conflict comes up. Maybe I'm a little uncomfortable. Maybe that's a sign that says, you know what? Maybe there's a little fear here, but maybe here in this moment of where I'm feeling fear, maybe there's an opportunity to learn and grow. Maybe there's an opportunity to be a little more vulnerable. And I can take a breath and breathe into that and set aside my fears and say, okay, I'm willing to be present here. How do you need me to show up for you right now? Do you need me to just listen? Do you need me to offer an opinion? Do you need me to share some kind of insight? Or maybe, like I said in the beginning, you just need me to listen and be present. Because sometimes that's enough. Because sometimes people just need us to hear them. Sometimes people just need to feel truly seen as they are, where they are, in that moment. Somewhere in the Unity teachings, and I couldn't find the source, they said, when we deepen our relationships, we deepen our experience of God. When we deepen our relationships, we deepen our experience of God. Because love is about appreciating each other. Loving relationships are very much about the enhancing and deepening our level of trust and openness with each other. And as I was saying, how can I choose to show up in a better way for you? Can I walk through the door into our relationship and leave all my preconceived notions behind me? Can I leave my limitations behind me? Can I leave my fears behind me? Can I set aside all of the stuff, all the stories I have told about how I'm not enough, how we're not enough, how all the stuff? Can I leave it all behind and just be present with who you are, who I am, who we are here? And yeah, I know sometimes it's a tall order. I know. And I also know it's what we are called to do today. In the face of all the nonsense that's going on out there in the world today, this today is important. And if I needed any kind of confirmation, a friend of mine who is a pagan minister on the other side of the country went live yesterday on Facebook with this very same message. That indeed we need to remember that we are connected. That indeed we need to set aside all the nonsense, all the stories about how because we're different, we can't talk to each other. Because we're different, we can't love each other. Because we're different, we can't listen to each other. Because we're different, da, 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 da. All our special interests, all our this, that, and the other, all that stuff, set it all aside and let's allow ourselves to simply be human in all our unique, magical, and wonderful, special ways. Our differences need not be in the way. Our differences, the ways in which we are different, the unique ways in which we show up, are there for us to celebrate. So when I look at the news, when I look at the world, when I look at the stuff, when I greet the people, in the street, can I just simply love them? Because I recognize that Spirit is showing up, God is showing up, the divine is showing up as that individual. Now, maybe they're not showing up the way I would like them to, but that's not up to me. They have agency, they have choice, they have options, they have their own sovereignty, just the way I do. And if I don't agree, I have choices to make. In a loving, caring, celebratory way. Yeah, not always easy. I get it. I hear you. I can hear the chatter. Here in the space, I can hear the chatter out there online. And that's okay. Buttons are being pushed all over the world. And that's okay too. Because each and every one of us is an individualized expression of the divine. I believe that. Do I always like the way it shows up in the moment? No. Can I love the individuals because they are a point of light within the mind of God? Yes. That is my task. That is my task. I went down a rabbit hole. I got lost. Bear with me. So, group participation. Are we ready? I'm inviting you all to name the types of relationships in your life. Let's see how we do. And I'm going to take the first one that's easy. I'm going to say family. What else do we have? Friends. Work. Neighbors. Enemies. Frenemies.
Client support staff at public offices.
Okay. What else? I'm sorry, what? Pets. Okay. Keep going. There's lots. I asked ChatGPT and I got a very long list. Pardon me? I'm sorry, what? Religious. Oh, religious relationships. Okay. So we have friends, family, frenemies, enemies, pets, client support staff at public offices, at work, education, service providers, okay, sporting events. We have marriage. We have dating. Wow. Marriage, dating, monogamous, non-monogamous, ethically non-monogamous, polygamy, polyamory. What else? We got swingers out there. That does fall under the ethically non-monogamous category, yes. Professional relationships. We have the checker. How many of you have conversations with the checker at the grocery store? Yay. You see, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, friends. There's a lot of unique and special ways that we show up. There's a lot of unique and special ways that we connect or don't connect. And we get to choose all of that, how we do that. And wow. I stop and I think about it and I go, it's not always stuff. Yes, ma'am?
That's that social media relationship.
Social media relationships, thank you. You see, yeah, I've got social media relationships. I have social media relationships that are so deep, and so caring, and so wonderful all over the world. People that I know that I could call and say, I am having a true meltdown right now, and I just need you to listen to me. And I know they would stop and listen. And I've never met them in person. 20 years ago, that couldn't happen. How wonderful is that? I have people here in this room I know I could do the same thing with. I could do that with Reverend Jill. I could do it with Katie. I could do it with a lot of people here. And I know a lot of you feel the same way. And that is what makes us wonderful. That is what makes us special and unique. Eric Butterworth writes this: the more love we extend, the more love we receive. The circle of love is ever expanding. How open am I? How unlimited do I view the love to be in my life? I don't know the exact source for this, but this was a quote that I dug up. The heart is not like a box that is limited or gets filled up. The heart is not like a box that is limited that gets filled up. It expands in size as we love. It expands in size as we love. Wow. Imagine that. How am I getting in my own way? Where and when did I decide that love was a limited resource? Because somewhere along the way, I'm sure some of us got this idea that there was this limited little box of love available to me in my life, and when it runs out, it runs out. It's not true. Love is a limitless source. Love is infinite. It is the prime creative force in the universe. It is in us, through us, around us, and it is absolutely changeless in its character that says love is the givingness, the creative drive of everything. It is changeless and it changes everything that it touches. And each and every one of you, each and every one of us here in the space, out there online, is a source of the expression of that same changeless, infinite love in every moment of your life. That opportunity is there for you. And is there for each of us, especially when we are in relationship with each other. We get to be and express the givingness of spirit. We get to be and express the limitless love and truth that God is when we get out of our own way. And we have opportunities each and every day to allow that to expand and to grow in its expression through us. So be present. Where do you go? When you leave, where do you go? When you check out, when you get afraid, where is it you go? There is a clue in that activity for each of us. Because if I am in the face of something and all of a sudden I mentally leave and engage in some conversation in my consciousness, that is an opportunity for me to grow. To say, okay, there's a fear here, there's an opportunity, there's an invitation here that says I need to be more present here. And I can just take note and say, oh, you know what? I'm being asked to be a little more vulnerable. I'm being asked to show up at a deeper level. Can I do that? Am I willing to do that? And if I'm not feeling safe, what is that about? And then thirdly, remembering that the love that we share, the love that we express, that is a limitless resource. We are not given a box of love at the beginning of life, and then it runs out. It's a limitless resource for each and every one of us. And that is our spiritual practice for the week. Those three items, to remember these three things: be present. When you leave, where do you go? And remembering that love is a limitless resource. So, with that, now it's your turn. Questions, comments, thoughts, ideas, feedback.
This is huge. Huge. See all these. I guess, should I stand up? No. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can stay right where you are. You don't need to come out. You just stay right there.
Thank you. I think that's a lovely idea. Absolutely lovely. However, we are in a fractured society right now. And having been a mediator for the court system, I know that people have very different beliefs than I do, very different way of living than I do. But when it gets right down to the crux of how people are treated, and the difference is so great, it's very difficult to say, well, but I love you because of this, because the other part is so overwhelming. I don't know how to get over that. Matter of fact, sometimes I wake up at night and I'm just scared to death about what's happening for people, that it's not going to affect me personally. I'm in the last quarter of my life, maybe the last 10 years. So, but I look at what's happening to people who live differently, love differently, feel that they're not in the right sex. I feel love for people. And when I meet people who feel entirely different, it's hard for me to, what did you say here? I guess what I wonder is, what I try to do is accept they're different and look at the things that we have in common, because your friendships are generally because you have a commonality somewhere along the line. But some of it is so hard to say, yes, I respect you and love you for this, but I cannot overcome this other. Now, I'm sorry that I feel that way, and I'm trying not to. But so far, I haven't gotten there yet. So, give me an answer to this question.
I will. I'll do my best. I'll
Okay.
absolutely do my best. Yeah, no, it's. I hear you and I see you and I totally understand. Absolutely. I know it can be challenging. There are individuals throughout this world that do things that I don't agree with, that believe things that I don't agree with. Absolutely. And I can still love them because they are a child of God. I can still love them because they are that expression of divinity. I know that.
Do you want to have them over for dinner?
No, I don't have to. I can love them. I don't have to sit at dinner with them. Yeah, I can love them from afar. Absolutely. And I can send them all the love and light I want. And this is on top of all that. Okay? On top of all of that, for this reason we are here. Because we understand that. Because we understand that each and every individual on this planet is an expression of divinity, and we can see that. Because we can see that in consciousness and hold that truth in consciousness, that is why we are here. We are called to do that because we understand it. We have to. Let me rephrase that. I believe I have to. That is part of why I am here. And I actually believe that to be true about each and every one of you in this space. I believe that to be true about each and every individual watching online now or whenever they watch this recording. That they are drawn to be here, drawn to see this because they are called to see that truth along with you and along with me. To see beyond the differences to at least the very core commonality that says, you know what? I am a child of God. Did that answer your question?
It did, and I think also
And I've got you. Go ahead.
that if we stay in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
at this very moment, if I'm talking to someone like that, I can appreciate them, but then I think my mind builds up all these icky scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So if I always stay in the moment, this moment, this person, it seems to be better than if I let my mind start going away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
When you know this person is hurting and killing other people, so
Mhm.
many other people,
Mm-hmm.
how can you love them?
I can love that, just that spark of divinity that's inside of them. Not like that's like it's like Reverend Joe talked about last week when we were in the same Q&A session. I don't love what they've done, but I can love the core and essence of who and what they are. Again, separating the behavior from the individual, right? Separating the behavior from the individual. The individual is that essence. The individual is a point of the divine. Yes. Do I like what they've done? No. Do I agree with what they've done? No. Do I approve of what they've done? No. And they are still, for me, that point of light within the mind of God.
Aren't you
Do-
disregarding the people that they're hurting?
No, I love and care for them too. I care about them. I grieve for them. Yes. I have compassion and empathy for them. Yes. Yeah. We'll leave it right there.
Do you go through that process every time that scenario happens? Or are you really loving or just tolerating?
No, loving. Yeah, and it's
I'm
taken
not
me a
there.
long time to get there.
I'm
Yeah,
obviously not
sometimes
there.
initially I tolerate it, and sometimes initially I'm like, "Ugh," but I have to work through it, right? Because it's the path I've chosen for me.
This is part of our teaching too, and it's a hard part of our teaching.
Yep.
Is to teach and understand what oneness is means that we see God in it all,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a practice. It's something that we have to get ourselves to seeing that. And as Lee and I both said, it's because of this tapestry. There are many actions that happen on the planet. We don't have to have all that over to dinner. We get to choose. We're all at choice. These behaviors that we're disapproving of or discerning against are choices that those individuals are making on how they use their own choice. And we, in this teaching, still continue to elevate into seeing God in everything,
Correct.
in all.
Yep.
There's a question online.
Nope.
Online, Penny is watching and asked, it is hard for me to love a coworker who lies about me and tells the lies to my supervisors. How can I handle this better and with love? I'm on probation at work because of her lies.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for asking, Penny. I would like to sit down with Penny and have a conversation right now. So, Penny, I will reach out to you after. And love will always point the way. I know this. It's hard. It's challenging. And, I've had, over the years, sure, people have filed complaints about this, that, and the other that they perceive that I have done at work. And the truth has always found its way through. It's not always easy. And sometimes it takes a little work, and the truth will come out. The truth will always find its way out. So I have to believe that. And that's been my experience as well. So, Penny, I will text you if you would like to talk about it. Anybody else? One more, quickly. We're running out of time.
Does anybody else have anything?
Just some feedback over the conversation that we're having about it's hard to love people that hurt other people. Mm-hmm. Absolutely it is. And then there's compassionate love, which we've kind of danced around. We talk about loving each other, unconditional love. Compassionate love doesn't excuse bad behavior, right? But you can have that compassion for, wow, they're doing all of that, or they're going to that length to hurt me or to hurt other people. They must be so wounded, right? To take that into account. They do have a spark inside of them that's been hurt, that's been shut down, that's been, whatever their trauma is that they have. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And one other thing we need to be aware of is our own judgment about others' activities as well when we're when we're in this conversation. because sometimes what we see, we are reflecting our own perspectives on. So we need to be aware of that as well. And again, it's being present in the moment, it's elevating into the idea of oneness and understanding that that's from whence we come.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Great conversation today. So let's pray. We turn within, recognizing the one power and presence that is God, that is infinite love, infinite life, ever expanding truth as it moves in, through, around, and as in each and every one of us right here and right now. And not just right now, but in every moment, with every breath we take, every thought we think, every action. We are truly it in expression. And we go forth into this day, into the rest of this week, knowing that love does point the way. The law makes the way possible. The law of life saying yes to the content of our consciousness. The law of life saying yes to our choice to live love, to be love, to express love here in this moment and every moment. We allow ourselves to surrender up the fear and choose to be open. Choose to be present. Choose to show up for ourselves, show up for each other in love and care and compassion and celebration. To see the magnificent tapestry and variety of the expression that God is around us each and every day. We love all of it. And because we express love, embrace love, surrender to love, we draw love to us. Because we share love, love increases and is reflected back to us in an infinite variety and tapestry of life. And so we let the light of truth shine forth before us, and in gratitude we celebrate it all. We celebrate it all. And so we let it be, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Lee, and thank you, everyone, for your comments and commentary this morning. Excellent, excellent. Is this yours, Lee? All right, it is time for our grateful sharing this morning. Grateful giving. And Ernest Holmes tells us, I know that my good is increased and multiplied as it is scattered. I am both an inlet and an outlet for the passage of divine love, life, and power. Wherever I go, then, I shall impart the divine blessing which I have received. And I invite everyone this morning to step into this sacred and spiritual practice of giving and circulating our good and recognition of the good that we have received throughout the week. And we have lots of ways that you can do that. Through our website, a donation button, you can make your donation there. You can also make that reoccurring. And then on Sunday mornings, you receive a tithe ticket at the front desk that you put in the basket as your reminder of the circulation of your good that you are circulating on a automatic basis. We also have a Money Finders program. This is proving the principle of what we focus on expands. We focus on the unexpected or serendipitous good that comes to us. I learned a new definition of unexpected good this week. It's unexpected because it's an unexpected channel through which it is arriving. And I liked that definition. Yeah, I like that definition. So unexpected good. What new channels can open up to us this week? And you tithe 10% here, you keep 90% of that, and use these envelopes so we can keep track of it for you. And is that it? No. Zelle. We take Zelle, which is Scottsdale CSL. Donations at scottsdalecsl.org. You use the app on your phone. You can use the QR code for a credit card this morning, or we've got Kim who will be coming around with the basket. And we also have folks at the front desk who will help you with a credit card if you would like to do that there. If you're donating in cash and you would like to receive a year-end giving statement, I'll need you to use one of these envelopes and make sure that I have your name and your email address so we can send you a statement at the end of the year. If you did not receive your statement from last year, please see me after service so I can make sure I've got the correct email address. I did have a couple that bounced. So if you didn't receive your statement, you're expecting one, let me know. All right, we have an affirmation. If you want to hold your gift over your heart for a blessing this morning, please join me. I am an open channel through which prosperity flows. I accept the divine flow of goodness, ideas, and substance through me now. I am grateful for my full and prosperous life, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Please join me in blessing that which has been circulated here today from our music, beautiful music from Michael Gott, from Reverend Lee's inspiring message, from all of our sharing here today, all that's been brought forth. I'm just so grateful. And I'm grateful for the abundance, the prosperity that has been shared to and through this community today, knowing that the gift and the giver are blessed, pressed down to overflowing in their lives. And I know that Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living is a grateful receiver as we receive it all this morning and circulate our good back out into the world, creating a world that works for all. And so it is. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate you. A few final announcements this morning. If you would like prayer, Daniel is waiting for you by the prayer room. He is there for the affirmative prayer treatment for anyone. We also have a prayer box in the front lobby if you would like to leave a written prayer request there. Or if you want to go online, you can leave a prayer request there at any time, 24/7, and those go out to Reverend Lee, Daniel, and myself. You can stop by the front desk to make a financial contribution, purchase books, or sign up for a grateful gathering. We have 2 on the books already coming up, one in April, one in May. So lots of we've got 3 on the books, actually. 3 on the books coming up. So sign up for yours, get your hosting spot picked out. Next week, we're going to continue. Actually, we can wrap up our series with What Would Love Do with my message, Love in the World, as we explore how to become more intentionally loving in our daily lives. We'll be here at 10 for the message, 9:30 for meditation, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And remember, Reverend Lee's message will be posted again on Wednesday, 7 p.m. on Facebook on our channel. Our annual community meeting is next. Snacks are set up and ready. They'll be moved in here just shortly. I hope you can stay for that and join us as we talk in community about who we are, who we were last year, what we did, and what we're looking forward to in this year. It's a fun meeting. I hope you can all stay and join us for that. Please stand for a closing affirmation and closing song. I live in peace and share my joy. I am empowered by spiritual truth. Today I express love in all that I say and do, and so it is.
Let there be peace. I am stand for peace. Let there be love. I am stand for love. Let there be joy. I am stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand. I'm gonna stand there for joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world.